A lot of people tell me that I don't look autistic. Oh God. I mean, what does that even mean? I imagine what it means is throughout time, especially when I was young, I noticed in the media, they often used to portray autism in a certain way. The media likes to sensationalize and to show extremes because that's what sells. That's, sensational headline, people click on it. And so often certain autistic people are portrayed, and often they're those that may have physical disabilities, or they're more noticeable. Their speech may be more irregular. You can tell that there's something different about them, not necessarily they're autistic. Or they might have a learning disability as well. And even I see this a bit nowadays, I see a lot of organisations that promote autistic people, they often show somebody that looks physically different or is noticeably different. So when people tell me I don't look autistic, I know that they mean it as a compliment, but it doesn't really make much sense, to be honest. It's a bit silly. I mean, how do I respond to that? I don't know. I think the expression is eye rolling. I mean, how are you meant to respond to that? I think people often have the idea that an autistic person's either very, very dumb or very, very intelligent. Dumb's perhaps not the right word, has a very low IQ or high IQ. Again, IQ tests, not the best representation of somebody's mental capabilities, because different people are good at different things. I sound very intelligent, but ask me to visualize things and I'm pretty terrible at it. And I've got other friends that they don't sound, they don't use as long words as me, but you ask them to make images or drawings and wow. So very, very different capabilities. But yeah, there's this idea that autistic people are either not intelligent or highly intelligent, like it's one or the other. And I guess in autism, you often see extremes, but that's because the media often portrays extremes because the media likes to sensationalize, that's what sells. And so you often see somebody that has these savant skills, these special, amazing mental capabilities to do maths or to draw things from memories, or those that are in supported accommodation. And you often see those kind of extremes. But in reality, autistic people are everywhere in between. They're the people that sell you things in your shop. They're the people, maybe they're your accountant, maybe they're the people selling ice cream at an ice cream stand. My examples aren't the best, but I think you understand the point here, that there is a diversity of autistic people and intelligence isn't necessarily something that really plays in here. I think one also distinction is autism with and autism without learning disability, or what can also be called intellectual disability. Now, unfortunately, this is another thing that's labelled based on IQ, which again isn't the best, but I believe the definition is that a learning disability is if you've got an IQ of below 70 and anything over and you don't. And so often I heard the term Aspergers, meaning for people who are autistic and have high intelligence, and I don't use the term Aspergers because I think it does have the connotations of having intelligence and it excludes people. But I think a lot of people use it to kind of say, because they've had a lot of negativity around being autistic, and so they say I'm Asperger's because it has different connotations, meaning they're more capable, they're higher functioning, whereas I don't. I feel like it's almost excluding a bunch of people based on arbitrary divisions. Often I see if somebody's autistic or says they're autistic, people have lower expectations of them. They think they're less capable, they're more likely to have trouble, and they're more likely to be trouble as well. Whereas if someone says they're Asperger's, people think they're more likely to be capable, they're more intelligent, they're higher functioning, and thus they're less of a potential problem. But when it comes to high and low functioning, someone can class themselves as high functioning but still struggle with some everyday task, whereas another person that you might judge as lower functioning might be fine with that task but struggle with a different task. When it comes to functioning, we all vary in how we function and at the time of day and whatever we're doing. People who work in an office, at the end of a long, busy day in the office, they're going to have more trouble holding things in their mind, concentrating, sound's going to bother them more. So functioning varies quite a little bit.